Welcome back to the Amazing Dinosaurs channel. Today we are checking out my huge collection of Godzilla and King Kong toys. And I've even got some new ones that we're gonna unbox today. Let's go ahead and get started with this Supercharged Godzilla. Oh, you can see I've already opened it up a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and get this out. Let's grab that tail. Oh, and there's a little bit of battle damage piece right there. Grab that too. And look at that. It even came with this teeny tiny little airplane. Oh man, this tail is really hard to get on. I might have to put this on later. It's really not going in there. But we can put on the battle damage right here. So let's go ahead and put that on. All right, let's check him out. So he's got the blue glowing spikes on the top. Look at that face right there. In this toy, his face is kind of pointed upwards as if he's roaring like that. That's pretty cool. Let's check out our other new Godzilla toys. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Oh, look at that. It's a King Kong action figure. All right, check this out. So we've got our figure right here, but look at all those extra pieces that it comes with. It's got an extra face. It's got a bunch of different hands so you can change whether he's holding his axe or whatever you want him to do. First, let's look at the figure here. So this is a very movable figure. Wow, this King Kong would be perfect for a stop motion video, don't you think? Look at that, you can move anything. And let's go ahead and swap out that face too to see how that looks. All right, here we go. Here is King Kong with his angry face. Look at that. This is pretty neat. It is a small King Kong, but I do really like how adjustable it is. That is really cool. Here is another new Godzilla toy. Look at this. This is the Godzilla vs. Kong Battle Mechagodzilla with Proton Scream. Look at that right there. There's the Proton Scream. Let's open it up. All right, so we've got a few other Mechagodzilla figures that you'll see in a minute, but look at this one. This one is a lot more movable than the other figures that I have. His mouth opens and closes. Check that out. And look at that. This Mechagodzilla comes with battle damage as well. It's a chest piece that you can put in right in there. And it just clicks in like that. And then you can take it on and off. But I'm excited to try out the Proton Scream. Let's go ahead and attach that. All right, check that out. That is so cool. Look how bright that is. That is so cool. This will look great on my shelf. All right, I think I do have one more new figure in here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. All right, it's in a camo bag. Let's see what figure it is. All right, another Mechagodzilla figure. So this one is a little bit bigger than the last figure we saw, but the limbs aren't quite as movable as the other one. This one still looks really cool though. Look how shiny it is. All right, let's check out some of these huge Godzilla and Kong toys. First off, the biggest Mechagodzilla that we have. Look at the size of this thing. It's like a foot high. And look at the detail that it has too. See those eyes? Look at all that. It looks like metal around, it's like metal teeth right there. That is so cool. And you can open and close his claws, move his legs, and move the tail around too. This Mechagodzilla is ginormous. All right, let's go for the big King Kong right here. He's holding his axe. And look at this King Kong. He's got the swivel action. And his eyes glow too whenever you move him. That is super cool. And his jaw can open and close a little bit. And there's that button on the back as well if you want to activate the sound effects. This is a really cool King Kong figure. All right, next up, we've got a giant blue Godzilla. This one's lightweight. I think it is actually hollow. But look at all the coloring on this. You've got the blue on the chest, and then the black on the sides, and then the spikes on the back are blue and white too. Look at those red eyes. And here is one of my favorite Godzillas out of my entire collection. This is a fire Godzilla. His spikes on the back, they look like actual flames. And his whole body is glowing red. Isn't that so cool? Here is another giant King Kong figure. His arms move up and down, and his legs too. This action figure is really cool. You don't want to mess with King Kong in the wild. Let me dig in here. I think we've actually got another giant Godzilla figure in here. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. This is my biggest Godzilla figure. Look at the length of the tail. Look how tall it is too. And this is painted to look like a real life Godzilla. That is super cool. Look at all that detail on its body. Look at all those bumps for its skin. And I just really like the length of this tail too. This has to be, just by itself, maybe like a foot long. That is so cool. Here is another huge King Kong. Look at this one. He's holding a chain in his hand, probably for attacking or defending against dinosaurs and Godzilla. It's got some battle damage on its chest right there. And look at that face. That is one mean looking face. This, I believe, is the Godzilla Ultima, the final form of Godzilla. Look at those spikes on its back. Look at this ginormous tail. That could probably knock down an entire building. And look at that face too. Look at that detail. They painted every single tooth in its mouth. That is so cool. Did you know that Godzilla's biggest weakness is ice? I didn't know that before, but that's super interesting. All right, let's keep pulling these out. Look at this. We've got Big Godzilla and Little Godzilla here, and they're pretty similar in color. Yeah, look at the size difference of these. Do you think that these Godzillas would work together, or do you think that they would fight each other? What do you think? All right, we've got a few more Mecha Godzillas right here, and these ones are a bit different. Check out this one. Look at the rockets on those shoulders. That is massive. This has to be one of the most intimidating looking Mecha Godzillas that I have. Look at all the armor and all the weapons on it. That is so cool. And then look at this little Mecha Godzilla. This is more of a collectible that you put on your shelf because none of the parts move. But look at that. There's still a huge attention to detail. Look at the teeth again. It's like the metal teeth and those glowing red eyes. All right, we've got some small King Kongs in here too. Look at this one. This Kong has an axe, and it's got a little battle damage option on its shoulder too. Let me show you. Oh, there you go. And look at how you can adjust the legs and the arms as well. It's super adjustable and super posable. Did you know that King Kong first appeared in the movies in 1933? That means he's around 85 years old. That is super cool. All right, what else do we got in here? Ooh, you know what? Here's another one of the really cool action figures that I've got. This is the Gigan figure. And check out the spikes all over the Gigan's body. It's even got spikes on its chest, spikes on its face. I think that's even spikes on its wings right there, and on the back of its tail. This is one scary war machine. You do not want to go up in a fight against this one. Oh, you know what? I think I see another brand new figure here. Who could it be? All right, look at this. This is a King Kong collectible figure. Look at the detail. And once again, look at that, a little bit of battle damage on his chest. This is a really cool figure, and it comes with this rock that you can also pose with him. All right, we've got tons more Godzilla figures here. Look at this one. It's got the glowing chest. This looks like a younger Godzilla, don't you think? This isn't a fully formed one. I think this is a fire Godzilla too, just like that one that we saw earlier, but it's a little bit different in design. It's not entirely red, but it's got the red or orange spikes and then the red and orange front as well. This is a really cool figure. Ooh, check this out. We've got a little purple Godzilla, but we've also got a big purple Godzilla. Look at that. They almost match perfectly. That is so cool. I think these two look like teammates, don't you think? Or do you think that they would fight each other? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think these Godzillas would team up together? Let's see what else we've got in here. Ooh, we've got some other figures from the Godzilla series. Let's first check out this one. This is the Anguirus figure. Did you know that this one was actually friends with Godzilla? And we've also got this Rodan figure here. Look at the size of those wings. And we've got a Mothra larva right here. And I think we actually have a Mothra adult form. Oh, here it is. There we go. Larva form and adult right there. That's so cool. And look at the coloring on these wings too. That is beautiful. So bright. All right. We've got a few more King Kong and Godzilla figures. We've got this golden Godzilla. That is super cool. So shiny. Look at those 3 rows of spikes right there. All right, another fire Godzilla. These are one of my favorites. I love the coloring on these things. Look at that. It's got some yellow and orange on the chest and legs. And then once again, those awesome orange spikes. That is so cool. And we've got a few more King Kong figures in here too. Look at these. Let's first check out this one. This one can do sound effects. See that big button on its back? Let's go ahead and press it and see what happens. Look at that. Even his mouth moves too. That is super cool. And this King Kong looks like he's been in the snow. I think this is the Arctic Kong. It's got the little bit of battle damage on his chest, and you can take off the battle damage on its shoulder too. Look at that. That is super cool. And check these out. We've got some more young Godzillas. I believe this is the second form Godzilla and this is the third form. Let's take a closer look at both of them. You can see that neither of them quite have their front arms fully formed yet. And they've got really long tails and they both got short legs like that. All right, just a few left. Let's check these out. These are all the last Godzilla figures that I have. So we've got this really cool, super adjustable Godzilla figure here. It's like gray and a little bit of like black mixed in. So this guy could really hide in the dark really well, I think. And then we've got another purple Godzilla right here. Look at those purple spikes. Well, this is a little figure. This fits in the palm of my hand. And finally, we've got this other small Godzilla. Look at the spikes on the shoulders right there. And he's even got like a golden crown on his face. I think this is actually the Space Godzilla. This one looks super wild and super cool. All right, final 2 figures of the bin. We've got this Kong figure and the second Kong figure. So let's first look at this one here. It's pretty adjustable. Can swivel him side to side. It's got the battle damage on his chest. But this second King Kong figure, look at that purple on his shoulders and the blue, and even on its axe. He's got like that purple glow on it too. And of course, this King Kong has the battle damage on his shoulder as well. There we go, look at that. That is super cool. I love having toys that have little pieces like that where you can change them back and forth. That is super neat. started with this Mechagodzilla figure right here. This one's ginormous. With the tail, it might be 2 feet long in total. This is really cool. It's got the opening and closing claws in the front, movable arms, movable legs, the tail swivels, and the face is just awesome too. Look at that. Look at those eyes. That's so cool. Next up, we got this ginormous King Kong figure right here. The arms go up and down. Even the wrists are adjustable. His jaw opens and closes just a little bit. But one of the coolest features is it's got this swiveling action. So you can set him up like this, and if you want him to punch other figurines, wham, 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 wham. So this one is about a foot tall as well. So this is one of my largest King Kong and Godzilla figurines as well. All right, moving on to the ginormous Godzilla right over here. This is the biggest Godzilla figurine that I have in my collection, and look at it. Standing up, I'd say it's probably around a foot high, but look how big its body is, and then its tail. It might even go maybe 2 or 3 feet as well. I really like using this Godzilla figurine in our battles because it's so big and so scary looking. All right, moving on. We've got another King Kong figure right here. A little bit smaller than the last one, but check it out. You can see it's got some battle damage. It doesn't require any batteries or anything like that, so it doesn't make any noise, but this one's still pretty large as well. Look how big that is. All right, let's take a look at this blue Godzilla right here. It looks a little bit like a old school classic Godzilla, but look at this blue finish that it has all over. And the gold tipped claws right there too. Look at that face, got the red eyes. You can see the tongue and the teeth right there. And of course, the spikes on its back. And these ones, for this figure, are blue, like the rest of its body. This one is one of my favorite Godzilla figurines right here. Check out the coloring on this and like the flexibility with its tail. This one is super dynamic with how you can move it, and even with its face, check it out. But the reason that I like this one is because it's fire. Look at that. It's ferocious. It's got like the spikes, but they're like flaming spikes. So this one is really cool. One of my favorites. Next up is this figurine from the Godzilla series. And this is the Anguirus figurine from the Godzilla Final Wars collection. Look at all these spikes on its back, and interestingly, they're all kind of like facing forward. Do you see that? You've got the long tail here with the spikes at the end. And check out that face. That is a mean looking face, and it's got those horns on the top of its head, also facing forward as well. That's very interesting. And here we've got a smaller King Kong figure, and this one does have sound effects in it. See this button in the back right here? Let's go ahead and press that and see what happens. It's making that snarling face. And it's got movable arms, movable legs, and all that. Which one should we pull out next? Let's try this Godzilla right here. Another large Godzilla action figure. This time, it's got the purple spikes on its back, the 3 ridges, the 3 lines going down its back, movable legs, movable arms, and even the tail swivels as well. This is a pretty lightweight figurine though. You can tell that it's hollow on the inside, and you can actually see that it's kind of squished. Not sure why that is, but it is hollow. We've got another large Godzilla figurine right here, very similar to the last purple one, but instead, this figurine is blue. So it's got the blue spikes on its back, the 3 lines of spikes. The tail moves just like the other one, the legs and the arms. And look at that face. It's got those red eyes too. Oh my goodness, we have so many Godzilla figurines in here. Look at this other one. This is another one of those super adjustable figures. Look at how its tail moves. And its arms has a lot of points of articulation. And its legs. Check out that face right there. Now look at the painting on those spikes and even on the rest of its body. You can tell it's super textured. It looks very realistic, which I really like. Oh, look what we have here. Another Godzilla figurine. Oh, a Mecha Godzilla. But it's like a miniature version. It's like a model. So it's got that huge head and the little body and tail. And none of the parts move on this one, so this is more of a collectible. But still looks very cool. I think I'll end up putting this one on my shelf. All right, I see a gold one down here. I think this is another one of the big Godzilla figurines. Yeah, so this one's around the same size as the blue and purple one. But instead, as you can see, it is gold all over the body and on the spikes and the tail. Everywhere has that gold coloring on it. And it's like, see with the texture, it's like mixing with black, which is really cool. What's this one over here? Let's see. Oh, look at this. This is a King Kong figure. It's got the longer arms than what the other figures had. And its face is even meaner than the other figures we've seen so far. Look at that. Let's dig in here and pull out another Godzilla. This is another one of those Godzilla figurines that's like super detailed. Look at that blue, and there's like a little bit of white as the highlight. And I just love these figures. You can even move its neck around so you can turn its head. You can move its arms. You can swivel them. All right, here it is. So I believe that this is the atomic breath attachment for this dinosaur. So what you can do is actually open its mouth and then fit it right in its mouth, and it'll stay there. So if you're doing like a stop motion video or taking pictures with him, it'll look like he's shooting the atomic breath out from him. Very neat. Next up, we've got this Godzilla figurine with a super long tail, and this one is from the 2016 Shin Godzilla movie. So let's see, we've got, it's like glowing red chest and that same glowing red along its back with the spikes. It's got a mean looking face, and then the glowing red at the end of the tail as well. Look how long that tail is. That's like longer than the body of Godzilla. All right, let's see what else we've got. Oh, look at this one. So this is a Godzilla, but this is the third form Godzilla. So you can see you've got its legs starting to stick out there, and it's still got the spiked back, the 3 rows, and it's got a fully functional mouth and eyes, but the arms have not quite come through yet. And again, even with this one too, look at the length of that tail. That's probably longer than the length of the body. Very cool. And here we've got a smaller King Kong figure. And you can see on the chest, just like some of the other ones, it's got the battle damage, the 3 stripes from getting slashed by Godzilla or a dinosaur, and it swivels on its waist and its arms. And there's no batteries for this one either, so there's no sounds or lights or anything on this one. But it's still a cooler King Kong figure to have. It's about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches tall. All right, let's keep digging. Ooh, you know what? I see another Mechagodzilla figurine right here. It's about 6 inches tall, and it's got a lot going on. I believe these are rockets on its shoulders, and there's just like so much gear, it looks like, all over its body. And this does have a metallic shine on it as well, even though it's made of plastic. It looks fairly close to metal, and I believe this version of Mechagodzilla is from the 2002 movie called Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. But let me know in the comments below if you've seen this one in another movie too. let's keep digging. Let's see what we find here. Oh, here is a very large King Kong figure. You can see some battle damage on its chest. It's got this chain wrapped around its hand. It doesn't move, but it's there all the time. You can move the arm up and down. And this one doesn't require batteries either, so there's no sound effects or lights, but it swivels, its arms moves up and down. And this one stands at about maybe a foot tall as well, so it's very comparable to some of the other King Kong figures that we have. And here is another King Kong figure, a bit smaller. Look at that, it's got this like white snow finish all over it. So I think this is the Arctic Kong figurine. You can tell that he's been working and fighting in the snow. This figure is a bit smaller than some of our other King Kong figures, but I must admit, I do like this one a bit more because it is so adjustable with its arms and legs. You can do almost any pose with this figure, which I think is super cool. All right, we've still got a lot more in here. Let's keep going. Ooh, check out this Gigan figurine from the Godzilla series. And this one is pretty colorful. You've probably noticed that with a lot of our Godzilla figurines, a lot of them are like darker colors. So I definitely appreciate that this figure from the Godzilla series has this bright red on the back. So this one really pops. Let's look at its face. It's got this massive horn on the top, and then even right next to its mouth on the sides, you can see it's got those horns there. So this one, I'm sure, would be very lethal to battle against. Look at those. And now we've got a smaller Godzilla figurine, very similar to the other ones we've had, but it's got the black body and then the very shiny blue spikes on its back. This one's jaw doesn't open and close, but the arms and legs are movable too. So this one's still pretty usable and versatile. And look here, we've got another similar Godzilla figurine, but look at the spikes on the back. In this one, they're like kind of see-through. You can see my finger on the other side, but there's still like a cool blue hue to them. And on this one, the jaw does open and shut as well. Look at that. See that? Look at that, attention to detail right there. And the tail swivels too. Let's keep going. Next one is this Godzilla figurine here, which I believe is the second form Godzilla. So check it out. You can see its arms are starting to form on its side right there, but it's already got the spikes on the top. It's got the red in the front, and its mouth and head is pretty close to fully formed as well. So this is a pretty cool one to have in my collection. Let's see. Ooh, we've got another smaller King Kong figure right here. But unlike the other one that had the snow on the top, this one's got, I think that's the atomic breath coloring on its arms and a little bit on its side too. You can see a little bit of blue. Ooh, and a little bit of blue on its chin too. So just like the other smaller Kong figure that we saw, the arms and legs are very adjustable, which I really like. All right, here we've got another Godzilla figurine, and check out the fiery coloring on its chest, on its legs, and look at that on its spikes on its back. I like how it fades into the fiery orange color. Look at that mean look on his face. His head swivels back and forth, the arms are moving, the tail spins. And this is a medium-sized figure, I'd say. But I do love that fire coloring on its body. And here we've got a smaller Godzilla figurine. And once again, we've got the black body, but a different colored spikes. We've had blue, we've seen some, I think we had some red ones and some orange ones. This one is purple, check that out. And these spikes are huge too. That's probably like 2 or 3 inches on its back. And as usual, tail moves, the legs move, the arms move, but on this one, the head doesn't move, so it's looking just straight forward. And look at those eyes on it too. See that little blue dot in its eyes. I see right here is another smaller King Kong figurine, and once again, check out the movability on its arms and its legs. And like the other ones, I forgot to mention earlier, but these do have this battle damage right on its shoulder. So when you take it off, you can see the red underneath as if he's wounded. So you can take that on and off while you're playing with a toy. And for this one, we've got the battle axe ready in hand for a fight. Check out that battle axe. All right, let's see what else we've got. Oh, look at here. This is the Mothra larva from the Tokyo SOS movie. And look at that, you can even twist its neck side to side like that. And I believe we actually have the Mothra adult figure right here as well from the same movie. Look at the coloring on its wings too. And it's got that little itty bitty face and arms. But yeah, these wings are ginormous. Very neat. All right, we're just about done with this bin. I can see this other Godzilla figurine. Look at this, it's got the orange coloring in the front, and it's got the orange on the spikes as well. The head swivels, the legs move, the arms move. And this is another, like, I'd say medium-sized Godzilla figurine right here. That is awesome. All right, look at this one. This is the Rodan figurine from the Godzilla series. And look at the wingspan on this. And it's got the yellow body, and you can tell that that's like armor plating on it right there. So this one's pretty protected. It's got the beak, and I think those are horns on it as well. Tell me in the comments below, do you remember in what movie Rodan fought Godzilla? Comment below and let me know. All right, we're just about done. We've got a lot of little figurines in here. Let's go through them really quickly. So we've got a bunch of small Godzillas right here. You can see this one's blue with black. See this one's like mostly black. Check out this one here. It's got the blue spikes. Oh, and look at this one. We saw this version of Godzilla a little bit earlier. Do you remember that orange coloring? We've got this other smaller Godzilla. Check this one out. This is a miniature Mechagodzilla, and look at those rockets on its shoulders too. That is intimidating. All right, that is it for today's video. Thanks so much for joining. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. So first up, we've got this Godzilla 1995. Let's check them out. Look at those, that orange and yellow. Looks like there's fire coming out of them. This is a classic Godzilla figure right here. And you can even collect the other figures from this same toy maker. Let's take it out. All right, I think the tail's on there all the way. Let's check them out. So not bad. Check out his back. Look at all those spikes. His tail moves. He's got moving arms here. Even his head swivels too. His mouth doesn't open and shut. Check out those eyes though. Those are some angry eyes. Very cool. Not bad, you know? Very cool. All right, let's check out the next door. So here we've got the Antarctic Kong from the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. Let's check it out. And look, it even comes with a miniature helicopter as well. And he's got battle damage reveal. And there's tons more in the same series too. Cool. Let's check him out. Let's get a closer look. All right. So here we go. It's the Antarctic Kong. You can see all over him, he's got this snow from the outdoors because he's out in the snow where it's super cold. All his arms and legs, they swivel and move. He's actually pretty adjustable. His head adjusts back and forth. Let's check out this battle damage too. All right, so here's the battle damage piece. So you just put it on his arm to hide the battle damage. So now he looks normal, he looks healthy and unhurt, and then he goes into the battle. He's fighting Godzilla or whoever else really, and then if he gets bitten on the arm, you can take that off and show a wound in his arm. That's pretty cool. And let's check out the helicopter too. Ooh, this is a tiny helicopter. Well, the rotors don't spin, but it's still pretty cool to have. Very nice. I like the snow. That's a lot different from the other ones. He looks like he's been out in the cold for a long time. All right, who next? Let's do this one. This looks like a gigantic figure. Let's see what it is here. Check it out. Check out this Godzilla here. This is another kind of classic looking one. You can see from the face. This isn't from the most recent movies, but it's still a pretty cool Godzilla. Let's attach the tail. Oh, okay. That one was a lot easier. Cool, so a lot of the same movements as the smaller Godzilla that we already unboxed. Check it out, he's got gold nails, and he's got the blue all over his body. Very cool. And he's like hollow too, so I bet he could float in your pool or something like that. Let's get a close up on those claws and on that face too. He's looking pretty angry too. All right, I see another King Kong toy back here. So this is another Godzilla vs. Kong action figure. It is the Battle Roar Kong from Monsterverse. So monster battle sounds. Push here to activate Battle Roar. All right, let's check it out. Let's go ahead and take him out of the packaging. So he's got this button on his back right here that you press, and he'll make a battle roar sound. Let's check it out. Here we go. Pretty cool. And you notice when I press the button, his mouth actually opens and shuts too. That's pretty cool. And he's got moving arms here. He's like kind of beating his chest right here. His legs and his feet move as well. And his face is like it's like a rubber, kind of. See, when he roars, he makes that snarling face too. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Very nice. Pretty good detail, I will say, for a toy this size. And it is pretty cool that the mouth opens and closes when you press the button too. Very fun. All right, let's open up one of these mystery bags here. Let's see what figure is inside this one. Oh, check it out. Wow, this one is huge. Man, I can't even get him out of the bag, he's so big. Wow, this guy's ginormous. I mean, look at this. He fits in both of my hands. Look at this Kong figure. check it out. So he's got a chain wrapped around his wrist that I'm sure he uses for attacking and defending himself. See around his body, very cool. And look, you can even see some battle damage on his chest there. And his torso rotates, his arms move. This is pretty neat. And this is another one that's like, you can tell it's like rubber and it's hollow. So it probably will float in your bathtub or in your pool too. This is pretty cool. He looks like he's ready to fight. All right, let's open up a Jurassic World figure next. Check this out. This one, wow, look at that name. That's a Chialingosaurus. Is that how you say that? I'm not even sure. That is quite the name. I actually haven't heard of this one before, but check it out. It's got a spike strike action. This is very cool. Let's go ahead and take it out of the packaging and let's check it out. All right. Wow, look at this. Look at this on his shoulders, on his front arms. He's got spikes. It's probably for defending himself. I wonder how he uses that to defend himself. And check out his spikes on the back of his tail. Those are massive. And you can see the toy has this swivel action, so you can really get those swings in when he's defending himself against whatever other dinosaur. Maybe he's fighting a T-Rex, maybe a Velociraptor, who knows? But look at all these spikes. They're made of rubber, so they do bend when you touch them. I guess that's a good thing so you don't hurt yourself when you're playing with it. But wow. And then he's got a yellow chest here and yellow front arms. I'm really digging these spikes on his front arms, right on the shoulders. That looks pretty fierce. Very cool. And yeah, check out this tail swivel action again. That's pretty fast. Very cool. I'm liking this dinosaur. You know, he doesn't necessarily look like the most ferocious one, but I definitely wouldn't mess with him out in the wild. That's for sure. All right, let's dive in here. Let's see what we're gonna pull out next. All right, another big one. Ooh, this one looks a little purple. Let's get it out of the packaging. Oh, check out this Godzilla action figure. That is a ginormous tail right there. It's swiveling, very cool. It's like a little squished, actually. Ooh, look at those red eyes. Those are some menacing red eyes right there. Very cool. I like the color differences between all the Godzillas that we've gotten so far. That's pretty cool. It's all sorts of colors. And his arms swivel up and down, his tail moves, his legs move, so you can have him run around and chase after other dinosaurs and everything. This is pretty cool. Very neat. I'm liking this one. All right, should we open this bag next or this one? Let's open up this one. Let's check out this Jurassic World dinosaur. So we've got the Spinosaurus here. All right, let's go ahead and open it up. Take it out. It looks like you have to attach the tail here. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, it just clicked in, cool. So now it is set to go. So this is the Spinosaurus. Wow, first off, look at those teeth in the front. Those are some huge teeth. And this toy, the mouth doesn't open, but still. Check out, there it is right there. The Spinosaurus and his, I think it's a ridged back. That's amazing. And look at the coloring. It goes from green to silver to red. And he's got the red coloring around his eyes as well. But most of his body is a green color, just like the forest. So he probably blends in and his prey doesn't notice that he's sneaking up on them until it's too late. And then he'll eat them. He's got moving arms here, moving legs. It's a pretty cool toy. We've got some bigger Spinosaurus toys out on our shelf, but this is a smaller one and it's still pretty neat. All right, think it's time to go for the mystery bag. Let's check out the mystery bag. Let's see what's inside. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it's a purple Godzilla. It's like that other purple Godzilla we had, but actually I'm kind of liking the design of this one a little bit better. I really like how bright this purple is and how it's just along the spikes on his back. And look at the detail of his skin too. Look at all that. It's super rough and scaly or something. It's like, well, he's a lizard, but his skin is super rough. And look at his face. They painted in all of his teeth and his eyes too. It's looking pretty ferocious. And the spikes on his back, I think, could be larger than the other ones too. This is a pretty cool one. I think this one's my most favorite purple Godzilla that we've gotten so far. This is pretty cool. All right, let's open up another one. Let's see what we got here in this bag. A Godzilla. Ooh, this one looks like a more classic Godzilla. Look at that. He's got huge legs. Look at his torso. This one is ginormous. I wonder how much he weighs if it was in real life. And look at the spikes on his back. This time, in this toy, they're orange. There's 3 rows of them. And his head is a little bit smaller than the Godzilla we just were looking at too. But look at this one. They painted in the tongue, they got the teeth, they got the eyes. There's even a little glimmer in the eyes. You can see that yellow. He looks pretty vicious, I will say. But yeah, look at the size of this one. This one's like a bodybuilder or something. He's got those claws on his hands. Very cool. This one's pretty neat. All right, let's check out this other Jurassic World toy here. We've got the Triceratops, a classic one. This one's got the battle damage. You can see here this little thing that opens and closes on its side to reveal the battle damage after he's been in a fight. Very cool. Let's get him out of the packaging here. All right, let's have a look. So his legs can move. You can have him run back and forth. Oh, and his head moves too. You can have it swivel side to side and a little bit up and down too. And then biggest of all, or coolest of all, is this battle damage reveal. You can have it just go back and forth whenever you want. But yeah, check out this Triceratops here. You've got the huge protective part of their head right there that they can use probably to defend themselves, I imagine, because this is what is protecting their back and everything. And then you've got these huge horns on the front of them. On this toy, it's rubber, which is pretty nice, so you don't hurt yourself. But I can imagine in real life, horns like this on a Triceratops would do quite a bit of damage to whoever was attacking. This one's awesome. Cool. All right, let's move on. Let's open up this one. It's looking gold. Do you see that? It's super shimmery and reflecting. Very cool. Oh, wow. Check this one out. This looks like a Godzilla made out of gold or something. Wow, this one's really cool. Look at this tail, too. Again, this is ginormous. Look at these huge spikes on its back. Wow. Look at that. It's so reflective and shiny. It's like a golden statue of a Godzilla. And its legs move, its arms move, its tail swivels back and forth. Let's get a close-up on his face here. Wow, yeah, look at all that gold painting. That's pretty cool. I like that it's not all gold. It still has black in it. So it gives it a lot of texture and makes him look really tough and fierce. Very cool. All right, let's check out this one here. It's looking like a Kong. Is it a King Kong? It is. Oh, this one looks quite a bit different. Let's check him out. Wow, look at the length of his arms in this one. He's got super long arms. And his head moves as well. You can see he's got fur all over his body. And again, you can see some battle damage on his chest right there. But look at that face. He's like right in the middle of a fight. He's ready to eat something or someone. He's super angry. It looks like maybe his hands could hold stuff. You could probably put a tree in his hand or something like that, and he might be able to hold it pretty well. That's pretty neat. But wow, yeah. This one's arms are super long. Very cool. I like it. Alright, and we've got another, is this a Godzilla? I think this is a yep, it's a Godzilla. Check it out. It's pretty similar to some of the other ones we've got. See, it looks a lot like the gold Godzilla that we just opened up a minute ago, but instead it's got the blue back and a black body. And again, look at those eyes. This one's eyes are red, and even its teeth, it's kind of teeth. They're painted white. Yeah, this one's ginormous too. This one's probably stands maybe like a little less than a foot tall. So this one's pretty big. Very cool. I'm excited to add this one to my collection. All right, let's move on here. Oh, check this out. Wow, look at this one. This looks like a super heavy armored Mecha Godzilla. Wow, look at all the silver on this. And check it out. He's got some rockets on his shoulders right there on both sides. And he's got the spikes on his back too. They're a little bit more hidden because he's got so much else going on. Ooh, look at the tail too. I like this design of the tail. All these little bumps on it. That looks very robotic. And his legs right here. His head is moving back and forth. His eyes are a pure yellow. He's looking around, looking for his next target. Very cool. And look at that. I think he's got blasters on his arms too right there. Wow. That is a lot. He is heavily armored and ready to go. Awesome. All right, let's check out this figurine here. Wow. This one is ready to attack. I mean, check this out. It's got spikes on its knees. Look at its feet. Those are spiked. Look at these huge, they're like sword claw things on its arms. I believe this is a Gigan that fights Godzilla. Look at his face too. If you know what this is, let me know in the comments. Look at that mouth. He's got these pinchers on the side. He's got a spike on his head. And even the back of him looks super fierce too. Look at his tail. It's got all these spikes on it. This is a war machine right here. This one is ready to fight all the time. Very cool. All right, next up, ooh, another King Kong action figure. I really love how maneuverable these are. You can move them in all sorts of different positions and everything. And this one too also has the battle damage. Check it out. So now he's wounded, his arm is wounded, and he's like, oh, I can't use this arm anymore. Oh, but then you can put it back on for when he's all healed up. Or ideally. This is very cool. And look at that. Look at that purple and blue coloring on him, on his shoulders and his arms. And you've got a little bit on his chin right there. This is very cool coloring. I like this one. Now look at here. Bottom we've got, well, it's not exactly a King Kong, but it is, I believe it's a gorilla. And not only that, but it's a stretch gorilla. That's super weird. Check it out. Look how far it can stretch. Yeah, this doesn't look like King Kong, but it's still cool nonetheless. You can stretch him super far. Look at that. And then he just snaps back into his normal spot. This is pretty cool. You could be playing with this all day. And over here, I see we've got the Radon figurine from Godzilla. Look at the wingspan here. This is probably maybe about a foot in width. So he's got some pretty big wings. Check out his feet. They swivel back and forth. He's got the yellow claws. He's got the armored protection plating on him. And then look at that beak as well. That is a ginormous beak. He's ready to soar off and fly and attack as well. Cool. And this one right here, let's check out. Oh, this is a different looking one. Look at this. Look at his face. That's totally different from the other Godzilla figurines. And look at his chest here. Look at that. It looks like it's glowing. That's so cool. Looks like something's glowing from out of his chest. He's got these little arms. He's got the spiked back again with the red glowing from in between the spikes. And he's got a super long tail. Look at that. That's like longer than he is tall. That is super long. Very cool. And his feet move as well. And look at that. He's got those little beady eyes. It's looking pretty ferocious, but I'm a big fan of that glowing red chest. That looks pretty awesome. All right, we got a few more in here. Let's check them out. So this one, I think, is the Godzilla in the third form. But let me know if it's a different one. I could be wrong about that. But look, you see it's got the spikes on its back, the three ridges. You can see it doesn't really have arms yet. You can see those arms are poking out right there. But it's got some ginormous legs already. You can see along his neck, he's got a super long neck here. And then his face, he's looking wild. You can see that they painted in each tooth, which is a nice detail I appreciate. And he's got those huge eyes. And he's all red. He's got some bright red along his side, and then a more soft red along the rest of his body. All right, got another Godzilla figurine here with the blue back. Very cool. This one's like an actual metallic shininess to it. It really pops out. That's pretty cool. Look at his face. This one's got the blue eyes. His mouth doesn't move, but his arms, his legs, and his tail move as well. This is pretty cool. It is a smaller Godzilla than some of the other ones. Like the gold Godzilla that we saw was probably about like this big, so it was a lot taller. All right, we got just a few more left. Here is another Godzilla, and I believe this one is the second form. So this one it's like a tannish color. You see it's still got those red along its neck and its red mouth. It's got those big eyes again. And the spikes on its back, instead of it being red like the other one, this one's like a darker brown. So yeah, I think this one's the second form, and look, his arms are even, I think, a little less visible than the other ones. You can see they're just starting to develop right there. Very cool. And here is the last Godzilla of the bin. So it's a little one. We got a little Godzilla here. But this one is also a blue-backed one. It's got those three lines of spikes. And look at his face. I do like the texture on this one. Check it out. It is pretty textured, so you can see how rough his skin is. And look at that face right there. His little tiny eyes, they are painted blue. He's got these claws that are painted blue as well. And his feet are blue. Pretty neat. And last but not least, got another King Kong figurine right there. This one's looking angry. This one has quite a bit of detail though. Check out that face. You can see those eyes. You can see each tooth. You can see his tongue and the area around his tongue. That's pretty detailed. I do like that. And once again, you've got some battle damage along his chest right there. His torso swivels back and forth. His arms move up and down. This one is about the same size figurine as the other ones we saw. So, you know, it's probably like maybe 6 inches high. But still a very cool figurine. this giant King Kong figure. I believe this figure is the Monsterverse giant King Kong figure, and it is very poseable. You can swing the torso for punches. It's got a giant axe, and its eyes light up too. Next, I'm gonna grab this gold Godzilla figure right over here. This looks like a figure modeled from one of the newer movies, and it is very reflective with this really cool gold coloring with the black underneath. And this figure has posable arms, legs, and a tail too. Next up, we've got another giant King Kong figure. This one does not have an axe, at least currently, but you can see that it can hold an axe. It's also got the battle damage scars right on its chest, and it has posable arms, legs, even the ankles, and of course the head can move back and forth. Let's grab this giant Mechagodzilla figure next. This is one of my favorite Godzilla figures. I believe this figure is also from the Monsterverse toy line, and it stands probably around a foot tall. But even though it's so big, it still has quite a bit of detail all over its body. It really looks quite robotic. You can open and close the claws, you can move the legs and twist the feet and move the tail. You can see that it's got some type of jetpack or rockets on its shoulders right there. And best of all, it's got a really mean looking face. Those things even look like teeth right there. How cool. Back over to the King Kong figures is this medium-sized Kong figure. It looks like this figure can also hold an axe or weapon in its hand. It's also got the battle scar on its chest. It's got that fur texturing all over its body. This figure is pretty adjustable, although it's not battery operated, so it doesn't come with sound effects or anything. Right over here is the Godzilla Ultima figure. This figure is quite a bit smaller than the Mechagodzilla that we just saw, but it still has some pretty cool features. It's got really cool texturing all over its body. It makes it look like it is armored. Of course, it has the huge spikes coming out of its back, the 3 rows of them, and you can even adjust the arms and the legs too. Check out all those teeth. Next up is a smaller King Kong figure, but this one is super adjustable. And it's got some really cool glowing purple and blue on its shoulders, on its axe, and even a little bit on its chin too. This figure might be a little bit smaller than the others, but I really like how posable it is. You can have it in any attack position that you want. Now let's check out these new ones that I just bought. That's pretty funny. It says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, but it is definitely not that. These are Godzilla figures. Wow, and there is quite a lot in here. Let's open up this first one. All right, I think this might be a burning Godzilla figure, and it is pretty detailed for how small it is. You can see the red on its chest, on its knees. Of course, it's got the huge spikes on its back, and the red at the tip of the tail too. Next up, we've got a gold figure. Can you guess what it is? All right, it is a King Ghidorah figure. How crazy is that? And it is a very reflective gold color, which is really cool. It's got the 2-tipped tail and of course the 3 heads at the front. This is a super cool looking figure, although there are no moving parts. Let's see what we got next here. All right, this looks kind of like a Godzilla Ultima figure, but what do you think? You can see that armored texturing on its body. This figure has the gray spikes running down its back to its tail, and this figure has a much longer tail than many of the other figures. Let's keep going, let's see what this is. All right, here is a King Kong figure. This one is a tiny figure, but it still has the fur texturing and coloring all over its body. It's got some battle damage right on its chest, and it looks really angry and ready to fight Godzilla. All right, moving on to the next one. What could it be? This is a Skullcrawler figure. This monster first appeared in the Kong Skull Island movie, and it looks pretty scary. Plus, check this out. It's even got some battle damage type thing. You can take off of its back and reveal its bones underneath. All right, on to the next one. This figure, I believe, is the Gamera monster from Godzilla. It's got the super hard shell on its back. It's a dark green color, and the rest of its body is a black color. It's got some huge teeth in its mouth, too. Here's the next one. This is the Destroyer figure. Check out those crazy looking claws and a huge horn on the very top of its head. Plus, it has wings that you can actually unfold out to both sides of its body. That looks really cool when the wings are fully extended. Still got a few more in here. Here is a new Mecha Godzilla figure. It has the classic all silver body with the robotic detailing all over, and of course the giant red spine on its back. Up next, let's see what this is. Here is the Mecha King Ghidorah figure, and this is the first of its kind in my collection. It's got some super robotic looking wings, it's got silver and gold on its body. One of the heads has green eyes, and the other two have red eyes. And here's the last figure in this new bag. This is a classic Godzilla figure with the blue spikes running down its back. Now let's go for the next mystery bag. Let's see what it is. Ooh, all right. This is another classic Godzilla figure, and it's pretty similar in shape and size to many of my other Godzilla figures, but it is super bright. It's got reflective silver coloring all over its body. Look how shiny that is. And it's also got the bright reflective blue spikes running down its back all the way to its tail. And here is one more mystery bag. Let's see what's inside. This is another giant Godzilla figure. This one is really tall. This one has the dark blue fur coloring all over its body. It's got the battle damage on its chest. And you know what? I think this figure is actually very identical to this miniature version. Look at the color, look at the battle damage. They're almost identical. And of course you can move its arms for punching poses. Look at that. All right, moving back to our bin, we've got a burning Godzilla figure right here. This is a medium-sized figure, and you can see those fire markings all over its body on the front, and it's got those bright orange spikes on its back too. Now here's a different looking gorilla. This is George, and can you guess what movie it's from? It is from the Rampage movie. It is a gorilla with white hair all over its body, and it still looks really scary. Over here is another Mecha Godzilla figure. This one is medium-sized. It's got the silver and the red spikes, of course, as well as some decent detailing all over its body to make it look very robotic. Here is a larger Godzilla figure. This one has the black body and the classic blue spikes on its back. And this figure features posable arms, legs, and tail too. Here is a really cool Godzilla figure. This one was definitely more expensive. This figure is super posable. You can bend basically all of its joints, even its torso and its neck. And it's got the dark green body with the bright green spikes running down its back. Up next for Kong, we've got this medium-sized figure. It has okay texturing and detailing. You can see that there's fur all over its body, and it has some different coloring throughout its arms and on its chest. Of course, it's got the battle damage slash on its chest, and this figure features posable arms and a twistable torso. Up next for the Godzilla figures is this medium-sized, purple-spined Godzilla figure. These spines seem to be a bit bigger than on many of the other figures, and it features posable arms, legs, and a tail too. Alright, we've got another burning Godzilla, one of my favorite forms of Godzilla. You can see the glowing red on its chest and in between its spines, as well as on the end of its tail. And this figure features posable tiny little arms, as well as the huge legs. For King Kong, we've got this model Kong figure, and this figure is pretty heavy and pretty sizable too. You can see that there's a little bit of battle damage on its chest, and I really love the texturing and detailing with the hair on this figure. Look at all the hair texturing on its arms. For Godzilla, we've got this smaller figure with the battle damage on its chest, and it features the translucent spikes on its back, and it has its head posed to the sky for its proton scream. For the King Kong figures, I've next got this figure with sound effects in it. It's got this button on its back that you can press to activate the sound effects and move its mouth. Here is another Mecha Godzilla figure, and I think this is the last one in this collection, and I think this actually might be my most posable Mecha Godzilla figure. You can bend the legs, you can even bend the knees, and you can move the arms in all sorts of directions, and of course you can move the tail around too. Next, for the Godzilla side, I have an Angurius figure. This monster is pretty crazy looking. It's got armor plating all over its body, and it's got these huge reverse spikes all over its back and right behind its head too. And this figure features posable front legs and back legs. I've got some more miniature Godzilla figures in here. This first one is a Godzilla figure with the huge purple spikes coming out of its back. I've also got a miniature burning Godzilla figure. You can see those orange colorings all over its body. And also a Space Godzilla figure. I think this is one of these few Space Godzillas that I have. Here are a few more superposable King Kong figures. This first one is the Arctic Kong, and you can see that he's got snow all over his body, on his arms, on its head, on his shoulders. And over here is a normal classic Kong figure. But of course it still has the battle damage slash right on its chest. Here are a few more miniature Godzilla figures. This one looks like a Godzilla Ultima figure. It's got the white spikes on its back and the huge legs. Here is another awesome burning Godzilla figure. It's got the glowing red on its chest and the red on its spikes and on its tail. And an even smaller Godzilla figure with, I think that's brown spikes on its back. And here are our last two Kong figures in this collection. This first figure is super posable. It's great for modeling and for posing it in whatever pose that you want. And there's also this weird looking King Kong figure, which is actually a stretchable figure. Look at that. And finally, we've got a Mothra figure from Godzilla. It's got some super bright coloring on its wings and some bright blue eyes. Let's start with this giant King Kong of Skull Island. Let's open it up. All right, here is the King Kong figure. This comes with a lot. Let's first check out the figure itself. Wow, this is a heavy figure. This has got some weight to it. And you can see it's pretty adjustable. You can move the arms, you can move the legs too. And you can see back here in the case that it comes with a different face. Got its angry face right here. And it comes with a few other things as well. It comes with a few different hands, and it even comes with chains to put around his arms. And it comes with the woman from the King Kong movie. Help me! But overall, I'd say that this is a pretty cool figure. Like I said, this is pretty heavy. This is heavier than even a lot of my larger dinosaur toys. So this will look awesome on my collector's shelf. And I've got another brand new dinosaur toy. This is the Kentrosaurus. Let's put these spikes on, just clicks right in. And the tail as well. There we go. It's fully built. Let's check out that action button right up top. Wow, that is really cool. It's got a slashing action with these giant spikes on its side. You better watch out for this dinosaur in the jungle. And I've got a mystery bag. Let's see what's inside the mystery bag. Ooh, it's super bright. All right, check this out. This is a awesome looking Godzilla. I haven't seen one like this before. Let's go ahead and put in the tail. Wow, this Godzilla is super bright. Look at those green spikes on its back. It's still got a giant red spike line right along the back. and it's got red and green all over its body, and even a little bit of purple right up front there. And look at that face too. That is one scary looking face. We've got one more brand new dinosaur toy. This is a good old-fashioned Velociraptor, but this one is bright red and green. I don't know that I have one this color yet, so this will be really cool to add to my collection. And this Velociraptor has the jumping action as well. So when you press down on its legs like that, and you let go, it jumps up into the air. That is super cool. All right, let's dig into our giant bin of King Kong, Godzilla, and Jurassic World dinosaurs. Starting with this giant King Kong figure with his battle axe that's glowing blue. That is super cool. And this King Kong has a swivel action, so he can swing with his axe. Next up, we've got a giant Mechagodzilla figure. This one is huge. It's over a foot tall. And look at all the machinery and mechanic stuff. This really looks like a robot.
Locked on target.
And of course, we've got a bunch of T-Rexes. This T-Rex has the battle damage on the side. And a posable face too, so you can keep its jaw open when you're displaying it on a shelf. Here's another giant T-Rex. This one has a chomping action. Watch this, when you move the tail, it'll chomp downwards. That is super cool. You better watch out for all those teeth. And at the very top up here, we've got another battle damaged Tyrannosaurus Rex. Watch out, here he comes. Back here is my largest Godzilla figure. This one is huge, over a foot tall and super big. Look at this body and the legs and these spikes too. These spikes are ginormous. Right up front here, we've got some of my favorite dinosaurs. These two are Spinosauruses, and you can see the different coloring on them. This one is mostly tan with the red spine, and this one has a bit cooler coloring with the blue on its spine and like tan and brown and red on its face all over. These are both really cool. This is King Kong with the battle damage on its chest. And this is Godzilla. This is a blue Godzilla, and they're ready to face off. Fight, fight, fight! Let's keep digging, we've got a whole lot more. This is a fire Godzilla. Look at the glowing yellow and orange on its spikes and on the front. And right here, we've actually got my favorite fire Godzilla. Look at the detail on this. It really looks like it is on fire right now. That is so cool. Check this one out. This is a hybrid Tyrannosaurus Rex. It looks mostly normal, but you see those spikes up top? You can press a button and out they come. That is a super cool action. Here's some more Godzilla figures. This is the Godzilla Ultima. Look at those giant spikes on its back. It's super heavy. And then we've got this Godzilla figure, which is from the Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla movie. This is a giant Stegosaurus. This one is mostly green with the brown accents on its spine and below. And it's got an action button. If you press down, it'll swing its tail back and forth. Here is an interesting looking dinosaur. I haven't seen many that look like this. This is the Amargasaurus. Right back here, we've got another massive King Kong figure. Look at the battle damage on its chest, and this one's holding a chain, and you can move the arms and twist the torso as well. Here is a few more Godzilla figures. We've got an awesome, super adjustable Mechagodzilla figure right here. Look at how you can move its arms all over and its legs, and you can even open and shut its mouth. And then right here, we've got the infamous Destroyer. And what I really like about this figure is that you can move the wings so that it hides behind its back. So right now it's standing on the ground, and then when it's ready to fly, out come the wings. Look out! Here it comes! Look at this massive herbivore. This is a Pentaceratops, and check out all those horns. We've got a lot more Godzilla, Kong, and Jurassic World figures. Let's keep digging. Here is another Mechagodzilla with shoulder rockets. And here is a King Kong figure, and this one has longer arms than my other figures, I think. Look at the length of those arms. He can reach real far. Here is a super bright Dilophosaurus. These are known from the Jurassic Park movies for spitting venom. We've got some more King Kong figures. This one is a great one for a shelf. Look how massive this King Kong is. And this King Kong has an action. Right along the back, there's a button you press, and here comes his roar. And a really mean snarl face too, look at that. Here we've got a super bright dinosaur. This is the Suchomimus. And look at all those teeth along its mouth. Here, we've got a dinosaur that lives by the water. This is the Sarcophagus. Look at that super long mouth. It has a pretty large nose up front, but look at all those teeth too. Here comes some more King Kong figures. We've got the normal colored King Kong right here with the battle axe. We've got the King Kong figure with the blue and purple on its sides. We've got this snow or Arctic Kong right here. And we've got even some more King Kong figures right here. Look at this one. He's kind of making a bit of a funny face, don't you think? Let's keep going. Oh, another King Kong figure. And this one is super posable. And look at that battle axe too. This might be my favorite battle axe that I have. Over here, we've got the giant Carcharodontosaurus. Here is another herbivore. This is the Xenoceratops. And look at these interesting horns up top too. They're like curled. That's pretty cool. Ooh, here's another cool figure from the King Kong movies. This is a skull crawler. And the final two dinosaurs of the bin. This is a giant Cryolophosaurus. And finally, the great and mighty King Kong.
Want to see more dino videos? Click the subscribe button now.